In this video, we are going to discuss the number one or two or three or four or five reasons, six reasons. I have no idea how many there'll be. How many reasons there are that startups absolutely fucking suck at cold email. How do I know this? Well, I've worked with hundreds of startups and seen all of the mistakes that they make when creating cold email campaigns, setting up infrastructure, so on and so forth. And most of the time, they have no idea what's going on. So this could be a completely incoherent video. We'll see. But generally, these are an overview of the terrible things that I see startups doing. So I think what would be useful is if I'm going to role play a startup founder. So to role play a startup founder, I need to find a startup. So let's go to Crunchbase and we will find anyone. Let's see, companies. Let's go to industry. We're going to be a SaaS company today. Boom. We are going to be a SaaS company with 1 in 10 employees. And just to preface as well, by watching this, hopefully you'll realize some of the mistakes if you are a SaaS founder or VP of sales, whatever it might be. I actually had a conversation with the VP of sales at a pretty large SaaS company. They have like 300 employees. A few weeks ago, I actually met him randomly out and about in the wilderness, let's say. But anyway, after speaking with him, I realized that like they are making all these mistakes, or at least some of them, because they just don't know. Companies just don't know. So by the end of this video, you'll have a bit of an overview as to what kind of mistakes that companies make, what to do instead, and hopefully should save you some money and help to improve things. Cool. So let's get back to role playing. I don't really care about this too much. It doesn't really matter. Let's pick. Sure, we're going to be Nesty. I have no idea who these people are. Let's see. Drive more. Fuck. Okay, so they're like an outreach kind of thing. Anyway, sure. Let's go with it anyway. And this actually looks pretty fucking cool. Let's see if we can find a better one or a worse one. Take back control of your LLM. No idea what. Large language model. LLMs from right in production. I'm probably overthinking this a little bit. Let's just read through a few more, see if we can find a good one. The AI know bad people in back-to-back meetings. Cool, let's do this one. Something different that I haven't seen before. Perfect. So let's say I am the founder of Granola.ai, or let's say I'm the VP of sales at Granola.ai. Let's assume we already have a small sales team. Maybe we have 3 on the sales team. We have 3 SDRs, maybe 2 SDRs, 1 account exec. I don't know exactly. Whatever it might be, we have some people doing sales. And they say, hey, Jack, welcome to the team. This is what we have going on right now. I'm just going to pause and open a Google Doc. Welcome to my Google Doc. So they're going to say, hey, welcome to Granola.ai. Fire. Craziest onboarding of all time. Welcome to Granola.ai. And they want us to help with their sales. I'm now the VP of sales. It's now my job to fix whatever the fuck is going on in their outbound sales team. So we go through and we start figuring out like, okay, like what are you guys doing right now? So they might say, hey, we're sending emails from Apollo. We have 15 email accounts. In fact, let's say 3. We have 3 mail accounts, 1 for each person. Make this smaller. 3 mail accounts, 1 for each person. Let's say they have, we send emails from our primary domain. If you're watching this and you're either a startup that kind of has more experience with this, or you're an outbound agency or anywhere in between, you're probably realizing already Granola.ai is pretty fucked at this point. But we're going to fix it. Let's say we pay $15,000 per year for Zoom info. We love it. We have no idea what clay is, but I see people mentioning it. Let's see what else we have here. Big mistakes. We are pre-message market fit, and we're using ad campaigns to test messaging. Smiley face. Cool. So we have some problems here. I might add to these later. So I'm just going to pause and have a think if I missed any. Okay, I think this is probably fine for now. Again, we can add some more as we go on. I said it was going to be a fairly incoherent video, and that is what I will deliver. So, sending emails from Apollo, number one. So it's my job to think about this. Sending emails from Apollo. Fuck. Do not ever ask me why I had that in my paste bin, but I did. Sending emails from Apollo. So, let's do firstly. Why do people do this? Convenient. Definitely convenient. No need to export Apollo leads. Saves money. Why else do people do it? They don't know of an alternative or assume it's good. Valid points. I've spoken to so many startups who send from Apollo. Apollo is obviously not terrible. You can send emails from Apollo, but it's just nowhere near as good as Smartlead or Instantly. I can't comment on deliverability specifically because I have no experience with using Apollo. But I can say that I have heard deliverability is really pretty terrible from Apollo. As to why that is, to be honest, I don't know, and I don't want to speak out of turn and pretend that I know everything about deliverability because it's not really my area of expertise. But I believe it was something to do with the sender IPs used from Apollo or their IP pool, something I'm not entirely sure. But my recommendation to all consultation clients, to all of our clients that we actually build full outbound systems for, is that they use Smartlead or Instantly. Either of those two are fine. We personally use Smartlead, just the one we're most familiar with. Both platforms are very, very good. So just to recap, why is sending from Apollo bad? Well, poor deliverability, poor feature sets. By poor feature sets, I mean, like, for example, in Smartlead, like it's completely built around sending at scale. It does everything you could possibly want it to do and more. Apollo is not really built for that. It's a data source with some kind of email sender thrown on top. So it's obviously never going to be as good as software that's built for that sole purpose. For example, Smartlead just released in beta right now, depending when you're watching this video, it's probably released. But Smartlead just released the full deliverability checker, like game-changing stuff. Yeah, amazing. So they're going to really keep up to date with that. Poor deliverability, poor feature sets, poor integrations. So what is my solution to the sales team? My solution will be move away from Apollo sending and move to Smartlead. Cool. So now we have solved one big problem. We now have, boom, fixed problems. We now have good sending infrastructure. It's pretty great. Sending infrastructure. Tick. Okay, next problem. So they have 3 email accounts, 1 for each person. We're actually going to tackle these both together. I'm actually going to edit this. Sending 200 emails per day. This is made up. I have seen this exact thing many, many times. Sometimes more than 200, sometimes less. Nonetheless, it's terrible. So we'll tackle both of these together. And I'm actually going to tackle number 3 first. So why is, for those who aren't aware, a lot of people are more aware of this nowadays, but if you're not, Why is sending emails from the primary domain a bad thing? So let's look at Granola AI just to kind of clarify what I mean by this. Let's make a new column. Sending emails from... What have I just done? Okay. Sending emails from primary domain. Cool. Why is it bad? And what is it? So basically what I mean, if I'm Jack, if you didn't know, I would be sending emails from jack@granola.ai. Seemingly okay. Companies think, well, this is our domain name. It's for sending emails. Yes, it is. But you shouldn't be sending outbound cold emails from your primary domain, because when you're sending outbound emails, you're going to be marked as spam. There is a 0% chance you're ever going to send cold email and not be marked. It's physically impossible. There is a 0% chance. You could write the best emails, you could automate, not automate, doesn't matter. You will be marked as spam at some point. If you get enough spam markings, your domain will burn. If you're doing cold outbound at scale, or really in any capacity, you have to be 100% prepared and expect your domain's going to burn. So if you're sending from your primary domain and that burns, what happens? Well, you cannot send internal emails. Fuck. Let me put this on the new page. You cannot send internal emails. You cannot email clients. You, cannot send invoices. All these things, everything over email, you just won't be able to do anymore because your domain is burned. Maybe all your email accounts are banned, whatever it might be. It's really bad. And it's such a simple fix. So how do I fix this? As I'm the VP of sales at Granola.ai, what do I do? We just have separate domains that are in no way linked to Granola.ai. So what did we do before? Okay. Fix to this problem. So we will purchase. Actually, before we fix the problem, let's go for something else instead. Let's go for, let's tackle this problem too. So on top of sending from their primary, they have 3 email accounts, one for each person, and they're sending 200 emails a day. So again, why is this a problem? First of all, 200 emails per day per account is you're begging to get banned. You're 100%, if you're not blacklisted already, you are going to be blacklisted so quickly. As I'm recording this video, we're sending between 5 and 12 per account per day. This number seems to change. There's no real solid guideline on this number, but the general recommendation is that you're really trying to make sure that you're emulating human email. How would you send email as a human? How do you fly beneath the radar of Google and Outlook? So of course this is pretty bad. Combined with this is terrible. They're sending 200 emails per account from their primary domain, and they're sending 600 cold emails a day from their primary domain. Again, if it's not blacklisted already, they are running into a big problem. And this is one of the main things that companies come to us when they say hey Jack, we know you build systems for companies. This is the problem we've run into. Our domain has been burned. What have we done wrong? We're getting no emails delivered, so on and so forth. This is one of the main problems that we are actually solving for clients, or one of the main things they come to us wanting us to help them fix. So let's see, where were we? How are we going to fix that? So there's a million different ways you can do that. Of course, very bare bones, simple way. I say simple, it's actually really annoying, but would be to manually buy, let's say 20 domains and set up, let's say on each domain 2 Outlook accounts for, let's do 3, why not? 3 Outlook accounts for that's 10, and 3 Google accounts for the final 10, which gives us a total of 60 inboxes. And if we're sending, let's say, a day gives us 480 emails per day. So we're pretty close to the original volume. If we're sending obviously 10 a day, then we are matching the original volume. And this solves the issue of sending from the primary, right? So these are all separate domains. Obviously, when we're setting up domains, it's not a subdomain. It's not like try.granola.ai. We don't want to do that. What we want is something totally different, like not in any way linked. We'll have like trygranola.ai, or even no, we would use .com always. Trygranola.com, getgranola.com, gogranola.com, whatever it might be. We just want 10 of these or 20 of these, however. Just they're not in any way linked. Cool. So you could, of course, manually buy 20 domains and go through the horrendous process of setting up Outlook accounts. You've got to set up DMARC, DKIM, SPF rules, add them to Smartlead. Like, it is a fucking nightmare. It's really not fun. So one thing you can use is a tool called ColdSire. ColdSire integrates directly into Smartlead and instantly. So you can buy the domains through them. You buy the email accounts. They set up everything for you and they add it directly in. They provide Google India. They provide Outlook India and Google US inboxes for a pretty reasonable price. Saves you a ton of effort. So if you're just watching this video thinking, I just want something quick and dirty, I want to get going, I want to fix this problem, just use ColdSire. I'll put a link in the description. It does have my referral code on it, just because why not? If you want to remove it, go ahead. It's absolutely fine. Some people prefer not to use referral codes, which is, I was going to say understandable. I don't really get it, but if you want to, of course, you can remove it. Cool. So now we have solved this problem. Fantastic. We now have 60 inboxes on Smartlead. I'll move this down here. We now have 60 inboxes. 60 inboxes on Smartlead, 50% Outlook, 50% Google. Boom. Already, like, we're looking pretty good. We're looking so much better than before. I've been a VP of sales at this small SaaS company for one day, and I have made earth-shifting changes. Cool. We have solved these. Let's mark these in this horrendous green color. Okay, so we pay $15,000 a year for ZoomInfo. We love it. Sure. Like, I see this so often. And then kind of when we talk to companies, ask them, like, why are you using ZoomInfo? Very rarely they have a good reason. And they're just saying, oh, like, we don't know. Like, we thought it was the best. We thought it was good. I'm sure ZoomInfo is great, but you don't need it. Like, we never use ZoomInfo. The highest ticket thing or outbound data source we bought was Ocean. And to be honest, like, yeah, okay, it's cool. You know, it has some nice features. You still don't really need it. Like, Apollo is really good if you know how to use it. So I'll probably I guess we can have a very quick look at Apollo and like how we think about using it. And the good thing about Apollo as well, I'll show you some other stuff here that you can save a ton of effort with. A lot of companies use Apollo and they're paying for huge plans. You don't even need an Apollo account. Like, I have an Apollo account. This is one of my ones that doesn't have a plan active. But you don't need one. Like, the only things that you get from having an Apollo account would be that you can use these features. Job postings, in my opinion, terrible. Funding, I wouldn't use the Apollo for funding anyway. Revenue, terrible. Technologies, apparently it's from Built With. I've never had good luck with this. Territories, never use this. Scores, never use this. So you don't really need it. But I'll show you very quickly, like, how I would think about using Apollo. And then I'll probably make another video in a bit more depth around like actual lead sourcing and how to think about that. Because, you know, even if this video can save you 12, 15K a year on whatever you pay for ZoomInfo, pretty big win. So what I often see companies do when we work on consultation is they say, like, oh, we work with Or normally they get their SDRs to build lists, right? And their SDRs come in and they're like, fuck, okay, we want to work with e-learning companies. Cool. Yeah, no, they need to be like this employee range. And they need to be in the US. Cool, we have 1.9k companies. Let's just extract every single one and we're good to go. Now, obviously that isn't that's not great, because what that means is that like any company, I'm sure their ICP would be more specific than just e-learning, right? It's not just e-learning companies. There's something more specific. And there's also a lot of companies that might fall into the e-learning category and not be e-learning. So I don't know where the keywords have gone for. Maybe because I'm not signed in. That would be very annoying. Anyway, one of the main things to do, let me sign into my other account. Okay, that's a bit of a fail. I can't find my login for my other account, my paid account. Let's assume you have a paid account anyway. So what you're going to do is go to the final page. Now on the final page, you'll start to find companies that are a bit weird. You might find some in page 1, page 2, page 3. But really what you're going to do is look through and be methodical. So you're going to look through, okay, like, is Lloyd's Maritime Institute really a company you want to talk to? Of course, you will know this. I don't know. Maybe it is. Project management skills are these. Basically, you're looking to find companies like INE Security. Who are these? Are they a company like you actually fall into ICP? Now, on a paid account, you will see different, maybe it's in table layout. Default. Here we go. Cool. So what you'll see is like industry and you'll see keywords. So the keywords is really what we want to start filtering out. So you want to look through and think, okay, let's assume like, hey, why the fuck is Lloyd's Maritime Institute in here? This should never, ever be in here. Let's remove oil. So then we're going to go to company. What the hell is keywords? Maybe it's under industries. Yes. Industries, company keywords, exclude keywords. So you want to exclude like oil. That will now remove maritime, so on and so forth. Let's assume, for example, we think, damn, like, why is React.js in here? Super weird. Now this has keywords not applicable, which is super annoying. So you probably can't actually filter that one out. That's crazy. Anyway, so on and so forth. Like maybe we think here, okay, why is fact of the day? So maybe we want to get rid of newsletter, so on and so forth. And basically you're just going to, already we've lost like over 100 companies from doing this. So you just want to go through and think about lists in this way. And try to make them as accurate as possible. You're never going to get a lead list that's 100% accurate without wasting countless hours of time. In my opinion, it's not worth it to go for 100% accuracy. If you can get 90, 95% accurate, pretty solid. And then from here, of course, that you want to find your people, whoever you want to target. My favorite way to actually target people isn't through job titles. So I don't come in here and I wouldn't type like head of development, for example. What I like to do is I'll talk about the positions that or the, what do you call them? The like categories of job role, right? So I might say development. I might say marketing. I might say demand gen, so on and so forth. Of course here, like, and I'll show you in a second. Now we want to think about, okay, like I only want to talk to heads, VP, partner, C-suite, founder, owner, boom. And then of course here, like there's probably some titles that you are missing. You can still combine these with regular titles. So I might still say, okay, well, I still want to talk to the CEO. I still want to talk to any founder. I still want to talk to any owner. We put owner in parenthesis, otherwise we're going to get product owners. So on and so forth. Cool. That's a very, very top level overview of how we might think about list building in here. Of course, you can get kind of crazy complex with it. I will make a separate video on actually how to do this properly and pretty much replace ZoomInfo permanently, or you will be able to replace ZoomInfo permanently. But yeah, one other cool thing with Apollo is, as you can see here, some companies are like, hey, we want to target 15 to 20. So what you can actually do is, it's going to be really hard in this view. Let's put it in here. So what you can actually do is pull your Apollo URL, put it in here, and then inside this, you'll see employee ranges 21 to 50, right? So what we can actually do is put, let's say we wanted 30 to 50, and then we'll put this back into Apollo, search, and as you will see, we have 30 to 50, 51 to 100. So now we have 30 to 100, which is not, as you can see, not available. Oh, damn. I feel real silly right now. Was that a thing? Damn, that must be new. I did not know that existed. Cool. Well, I guess we're all learning today. That's great fun. Cool. Anyway, now you have your people and you think, well, Jack, I would love to export these, but I don't have any Apollo credits left. What do I do? Like I said, we don't pay for Apollo. We have one plan. I don't really know why I have a paid plan. I actually don't have a good reason. So we use exportapollo.com. Super cool platform. We just log in. Yeah, so it's pretty cool. Basically, you come in. I have no affiliation with these guys, but I'll put a link in the description. You click buy scraping credits, and boom, like however many you want, whatever, doesn't matter. Then you have your scraping credits. There's not a subscription, they're just there until you use them. And you can put your lead list name in. So let's put like granola list 1, put your Apollo search link. Number of contacts, we are going to put in down here, of course, 978. I leave these all blank because we have like a process within Clay to kind of get everything properly done. But I do get extra data. This is really nice. This gives you the company description, which is really useful. Now, if you wanted to do verification, like this is fine. Again, we do it in Clay with Find Email, but like Million Verify is fine. If you want to save a stat, you can do this. One other thing I forgot to mention, actually I see a lot of people getting wrong, is they use this. So they come into Apollo and they're like, oh, cool, verified. We only want verified emails because they hear this stuff about verified emails, right? And then they blindly just trust Apollo's verified status. This is going to really fuck you up. Apollo's verification, at least at the time of recording this video, is fucking terrible. So you really don't want to use that, and going to cause a big problem. Reason being, if you send an email to an address that's not verified, or like you don't know if it's a real address, it hasn't been verified by some software, and you send it to that email, say I send an email to bob@coats.com, whatever it might be, and then the email to Bob, like Bob's email doesn't exist, and then that bounces. If I keep bouncing, my email account will get burned. I'm sending emails to accounts that do not exist. My accounts will get burned. My domains will be fried. My deliverability will be ruined. So it's really, really bad. So never ever tick this. You do not care if it's verified or likely to engage on Apollo. Yeah, don't worry about this shit. So that is now Apollo. Let's see. So we kind of don't need to pay 50k for ZoomInfo. This video is slightly out of scope for this video, but let's assume you've watched the next one, and we are now masters of sourcing from Apollo, custom locations, and using Clay.com to build relevant data points. Boom. So again, we fixed a fucking huge issue in the startup very, very quickly. It's day one, and we're making real progress. The cool thing about these is, of course, like custom lists, when you get really good at building them, they can be used for ad campaigns. I was going to start. I was going to start reeling off a ton of things there. It's really good for ad campaigns. Of course, as well, like you want to make sure if you have a cold calling team, they're only dialing verified numbers. I don't know the number quality from Apollo. I'm not a cold caller. But you can, again, if you're really good at list building, you can build like really nice lists for your cold calling team. You can give them kind of relevant data points, relevant research. You can make sure the numbers are verified, so they are all happy when they get to work and begin dialing. I guess traditionally SDRs probably do a bit of both, but yeah, whatever. Cool. So what's the next problem? We have no idea what Clay is, but we see people mentioning it. So again, this video might be a little bit out of scope for Clay, but let me log in and I'll just give you a quick rundown of what it is and why it is so cool. Boom. So here is this is a completely random table. This is not for a client. This is not for any real life situation. I actually use this just to kind of give someone a real quick demo of Clay and some of the crazy things that you can do. So what we've done here in Clay, I won't show you kind of how we did everything. I just want to keep this very top level. But within Clay, we've pulled a list of local marketing agencies in New York, right? Pretty easy to do. That was done in like seconds. Now, we get all their information. We have their website, Google Maps URL, their phone number, their address, their rating, review count. Great. Now, like if I wanted, say I was marketing to these marketing agencies, I was sending them cold emails, or I wanted to build ad campaign or whatever it might be. I have no idea. I might want some extra data. So I could either have a virtual assistant go through these and find relevant data points for me, or I could use probably Clay's most powerful feature, which is called Claygen. And I could write a prompt and say like, hey, Claygen's like an AI researcher. And I can say to it, hey, like I want you to do this. Now, this is a pretty terrible prompt. This was pretty lazy. If you were doing like an actual thing, of course, you would like to spend some more time and give it some more context. But as I said, this is just an example. So I don't really care about this one. But basically, we're saying, hey, I want you to go to the case studies, find the case studies on this website, only look at this website, giving it some examples like what a case study is. And then I just want you to output the names of the companies that are mentioned in the case studies, and like never mention the company name itself. So as you can see, it's gone away and done some research. This company here is worked with Clear, Dockers, Norm, MyArthritis, Macintosh Labs, blah, blah, blah. Like really cool stuff. We see all their case studies. We can then use these for like relevancy. We can use these to talk about something in email campaign, whatever it might be, like cold calling, like, hey, I saw you worked with Phone Loop. You might not have said that cold calling. I don't know. Like I said, I don't do cold calling. I have no idea. But pretty cool. So then we just said, hey, like I want to get the first item, the first case study on this list. In this case is General Electric. And then I've done Claygen again and said, okay, cool. I need to go back to this website, dig a bit deeper and find out everything that this company actually did for them. Like how did they help? As you can see, it's come back with all this information. Creative House implemented innovative I'll skip that word. Strategies for General Electric that were pivotal in driving their success, according to Igor Popovsky, the regional manager Europe for General Electric, who stated that many successful strategies for the company were pioneered by Creative House. Boom. And then this is really cool information. And this was all done within 2 minutes. I put almost next to zero thought into this. Really great stuff. This would take a VA ages to compile and find this information. All of this might even be a full day's work. I don't know. It'll be a fair amount of time. Cool. Now we have that information. Then we can get GPT to start creating some messaging around this, or you can use it to filter for companies you want to talk to, filter for companies you want to work with. You can figure out what their best ICP is based on the best case studies they have. There's so much stuff you can do with this. In this example, we just wanted to create an email first line. This is the worst prompt I've ever written. Just so you know. Like I said, I didn't put any thought into this. This was just for a demo. So the email first line, never ever say this, but I saw how you help boost General Electric success by implementing 10 key strategies through Creative House. How are you finding these clients at the moment? Pretty terrible. But nonetheless, this is all done automatically with Clay. Then we're going to go ahead. I won't go through the rest of this too much, but we're basically scraping everything about that company and finding out like what do they do, what do they specialize in. Again, that's all done automatically. And then what else are we doing here? We're searching Google, see if they have any blogs around pay-per-click. If they do, then we're going to make another line about like, hey, I saw your blog post about this. So just some brief examples of the kind of stuff you can do in Clay. If we click on Ad Enrichment, you can see there is a ton of stuff in here. Like, to be honest, I've been a Clay expert for 8 months now. I think I've not looked at most things. They're adding stuff continuously. There's so much you can see. Integrations, Appify, super good one. Built with, great. Let's see, Clearbit, Close, CRM, ton of stuff. Like you could just have a field day just playing around in here. Yeah, pretty fun. Like it's the sales tech of everyone's dreams. It's really cool. They have recipes. If you're stuck for inspiration, you can take one of these and kind of build it for yourself. We have templates, do a bunch of stuff in here. That is Clay. I'll make a separate video on Clay. Not that everything can, of course, be covered in one video because there is so much to do. But maybe we'll do like a lead sourcing video or something. Cool. That is Clay. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Oh, one other cool thing is like within Clay as well, we can just add leads straight into Smart Leads, so we don't have to do any exporting, any bullshit. Like everything just happens in one flow. So very cool. What I'll do is I'll put my link in the description. So if you do sign up to a paid plan, you get 3,000 credits to play around with. I think it's also on top of the 1K you get, so you get 4K. I could be wrong. If I've lied, I apologize. It is what it is. Boom. So we're nearly done with the main problems. We've now solved Clay. The team is now using Clay. The team is now using Clay. Everybody is faster and smarter. Smiley face. The final problem, which is a bit easier to fix. We're pre-message market fit and we're using ad campaigns to test messaging. Why is this bad? Well, obviously because if you don't know your message yet and you're blasting ad campaigns to test it, it's super fucking expensive. So what do we do instead? Well, now we have all this stuff. We can now send safely 600 emails a day. You could take all of the money from the ad campaigns you're wasting money on, blast them into cold email, 10 times your volume. Let's say you're now sending 6K emails a day. You can get better feedback. You know exactly who you are talking to. You get instantaneous feedback as well as good feedback, because of course every no is great. Like when we're working with companies that have no message market fit, if we send 10,000 emails, not that this happened, but if it did, and everybody says no, and we believe we're sending to the perfect ICP, the perfect person with the perfect message, and they're all saying no, that's actually, as much as it sucks, sure, because the thesis is wrong, it's actually a really good data, because you probably want to know that. And then you can start iterating. So cold email is a really amazing way to validate message market fit, test new product ideas, test new features, whatever it might be, because this can be so cheap. Like when you have a system up and running, like it's so much cheaper than everything else. I think Eric Novoslowski referred to it as the private ads network, best private ads network in the world. Like I love that. That is very, very true. So yeah, what we're going to do now, I am the VP of Sales at Granola. We're going to stop running ad campaigns until we have validated our winning champion biggest, coolest, best message to the best market, the best kind of person via email. When we've nailed that, we can repeatedly send like 200 emails, whatever it might be, and get interest. Then we can start thinking about ad campaigns. But until then, we're just going to put all of our money into finding message market fit through cold email and probably closing a bunch of new business, gaining a bunch of new insights, and maybe, and I've seen it happen, end up changing the product. So this is a very, very brief overview. Boom. Into my first day at Granola.ai with some completely made up problems, but the kind of problems that I do see a lot of companies are facing. So hopefully this was useful. I said it was going to be an incoherent video. It has been very incoherent, granted, but I hope it was also fairly valuable. I don't know what the next one will be. Maybe I will go a bit more deep. That made no sense. Maybe we'll go a bit deeper on the lead sourcing with ZoomInfo and Clay and kind of how to think about that. And think about the lead sourcing with Apollo. I don't know. We'll see. If you have any thoughts on cold email videos you want to see, cold email for startups, whatever it may be, let me know and we'll go from there. Wonderful. Have a great day.